My name is Sean Duffy. I'm from Michigan. I have 17 years in the fire service. I started right out of high school. Just kind of knew this is what I wanted to do and immersed myself in it ever since. So it's been a great ride and looking forward to the rest of my career from there. What drew me to the fire service was actually my father. He was not a fireman. He was an EMT for the city of Trenton in New Jersey. And as a kid, I always went and saw him at work. So my mom would bring us in and see him, and I was just really fascinated about what he did. And he would always take me to the firehouse where all his friends worked and everything, and I just always there, jumping on the trucks and everything. So I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I kind of had an idea, and dabbled a little bit in electrical stuff and AC work, and I knew that I needed to be at the fire department. That was the place for me. And the minute I walked into the firehouse as a volunteer, it felt like home, and I just didn't want to do anything else. So that was kind of my introduction to it. And then I learned a lot more of what I really didn't know about the fire service the more I stood in. So. My mind goes all over the place. How could things be better? And just always going down these pathways. I might write something down on a notebook, and then maybe I'll come back to it, maybe I won't. But what it really boils down to for me is, at least in the fire service, is if you want to do something, don't wait. Just take it upon yourself. What's the worst that can happen, right? So for me, with that entrepreneur stuff, it was really just kind of taking the bull by the horns. I saw a need for certain things that weren't being offered, and I just said, you know what? Instead of waiting around for someone else to do it, I'll do it myself, and we'll see where it goes. And it's been a great opportunity and learning experience for sure. So the idea for the training company, Build Your Culture, where that came from is a couple of friends and I, we were already teaching and sharing our passion with everybody. Sometimes we did it through our local Fools chapters, sometimes we did it through our department, individually, however it went. And we were at the Orlando Fire Conference back in 2019, and just sitting there talking with my friend Pablo, we kind of decided to put a name to it. So it wasn't just Sean or it wasn't just Pablo, it was more of a group. We're in this thing together, we're trying to move forward as a team. The whole fire service should think that way, So we just came up with the name Build Your Culture, so to encompass, if you don't like something, fix it. It's up to you to build that. So it was a mindset thing. It started off, and then we started doing some trainings and things like that. So that has been a pretty good learning curve for me with the entrepreneur stuff. Doing merchandising and things like that, there's always costs involved with what you do. So getting into that mindset and just following these pathways of what is realistic, how can I approach this in a way that I give it to people to where it relates to them on an individual level, as well as, a broader spectrum. So it's been a challenge, but I wouldn't do it any different. One of the other things is, I met Eric through some trainings and his fastboard. Again, same like-minded individual. Saw a need for something, did something about it, and I think that's where the fire service really wins, is when we get great minds alike working on things. So. Met Eric at a training, actually. We didn't really know each other, and he was just kind of sitting there at a different table, and I was having a discussion with some other people, and we kind of just came together, started talking. I think it was like 3 o'clock in the morning or something by the time we were done. So, just doing some trainings. We happened to be in the same places at the same time, started working together a little bit more, incorporating the fastboard into search training, and him showing me, how the fastboard worked and how the premise behind it and where his ideas came from. And, for what I do, I don't push any products that I don't believe in or that I wouldn't personally use. I think that there's a lot of options out there, but we really, for me anyway, with the training, I want the best option, and I want the most practical option, and I think Eric has been able to afford that to us in a lot of spectrums with the fast board. So they made a Facebook post, about, hey, we're looking for instructors and things like that, and I just reached out. I said, hey, I love what you guys are doing. I've worked with Eric. I'd be very interested in doing this, and so here I am, just helping out wherever I can, and trying to, again, just push that fire service a little bit forward in the right direction. There's this saying, it's like you can never train too much for a job that can kill you, and that kind of always resonated with me very well. So in the realm of training, you have training and then you have realistic training, right? Anybody can throw anything together, but are you getting anything out of it, right? And one of the things that I really like about the fast board is that, unfortunately, firefighters, sometimes we need to be rescued ourselves. Things happen inside the building. And there was a lot of trial and error. There's a lot of studies that have happened. Unfortunately, firefighters have passed away because of these things. So training with equipment to show firefighters how to be successful and in a timely manner, that makes the ultimate difference. I just don't think that's something you can replace. And just showing up and saying, I don't know, well, let's figure it out, that's just not an option for me. So want to make that to the fire service of, hey, we're supposed to have the answers, and even if we don't have the answers, we should at least have a plan set in place to kind of start steering us in the right direction. And that only happens one way: talking about it, training about it, and getting everybody on the same page. I want people to look at the fast board and realize that it's just not a firefighter survival thing. The fast board has multiple uses. I mean, you could use it for civilian rescue and structure fires, the ice rescue, water rescue, ballistics for the police department, just about anything. Even shipboard firefighting, confined space removals. It just has so many good uses, and to me, what Eric's been able to do has solved over 70% of our problems that we have with removing either ourselves or our victims. And it just having that as an option, I firmly believe that this should be standard on every piece of equipment, not just fire apparatus, but I mean, police department should have it. Anybody who does some type of confined space, whether it's just working in confined spaces, it's a great overall tool to have. I know it gives me a sense of security knowing that people have been trained on it and it's there available. And I want other people to have that too, because it's not just putting somebody on a board and pulling a rope. This board can go up and down, sideways. You could do anything you need to do with it and really package that individual in a really short time frame, right? So it cuts a lot of guesswork out of things, and you just keep it moving. So I think if you look back at any major incident, you could probably say, man, if they would have just had a fast board. Oh, hey girls. Hi, how are you? All right, come on, come sit up here. There we go. Hi. So, like I was saying, this is what it's all about for me. My family, they're the biggest support system that I have. I can't do this without them. And everything I do is for them 100%. Anybody who has a family, I think, can say the same thing, that when you come home to your family, that's a good day. So that's what I want for the fire service. That's what I want everybody who currently has a family or may have children in the future, anything. Even if you don't, you still have family, right? So being able to set yourself up and come home and be there for them, that's the most important.